State your name, title, and personal interests.
My name is Chavous. I'm the external student body president for the University of Colorado Boulder. I love to make music. I love product design, business, politics, learning. I will be in a history book and I will change the world.
What are some goals for the upcoming academic year in relations to student government and upper administration?
So a more short-term tangible goal between student government and upper administration has been to address the prison industrial complex and the correctional facilities contracts that exist right now between the university and those entities. Prison-made furniture and other goods contribute to a form of systemic oppression, which we want to address and eradicate. We have been in solidarity thus far with administration in finding solutions to this issue. It's very complex, it's very political. There's a lot of federal and state regulations in place that prevent us from going about that process the way we want to. But I am confident that based on the conversations I have had thus far, we will come to a solution in a short amount of time. So a more thematic goal that we've had when we were campaigning is the theme of community on and off campus, what it means to have a community, what it means to address needs and wants from different communities on campus, and to form a common identity where every graduate that graduates from the University of Colorado has as a buff, what it means to be a buff. And I think in order to actually achieve this common identity, there's going to be bridges that need to be built, and there's going to be bridges that need to be burned. And we don't know fully what that looks like yet. There's a lot of complexities that we are planning as far as the community theme, a lot of PR and media strategies, a lot of outreach, a lot of engagement. We're very hyper-focused on the community aspect, and it's going to be a fun time.
In relations to the George Floyd tragedy, what does this mean for you and our university? And how do you plan on addressing systemic racism?
So in relation to the George Floyd tragedy, I think that the police reform that is wanted within this country is a needed one. However, I think that the solutions outside and inside of the solution proposed for the police departments being defunded and reorganized needs to be addressed in a way, in a lens, a historical lens, of not only this one incident, but the incidents that occurred prior, all the black men and women that lost their lives at the hands of police officers. I think oftentimes solutions and the conversation surrounding what solutions should look like get lost in the lens of left and right, when in reality, human lives and the value of human lives comes down to right and wrong. Here on our campus, we intend to first start with the prison system, as mentioned earlier, as well as we started the process in addressing fraternities and sororities and their overarching institutions that manage and oversee them, to implement new regulations and guidelines that help suppress and maintain an orderly, safe, and positive atmosphere that is anti-hate, anti-racist. We've had some issues so far with racism being plagued throughout these communities, and I have a lot of very close friends in both of the fraternity and sorority culture. I know it's a hard feat. I know that not everybody in these organizations participates in racist activities. However, there's enough people and enough organizational support for racism to occur that the burden falls on everyone a part of those, or everybody who is a part of those organizations. So that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be something we're very focused on, and that's one way that we can change the social fabric of our university.
What does leadership mean to you?
Leadership to me is a balancing act. It's an act of being a pioneer on a frontier, taking a risk, going out and doing something that is unforeseen or unique. It's also the balancing act of finding a middle ground and seeking counsel and advice when you don't know the right way to go. It's important to be reserved at times. It's a balancing act between being empathetic and sympathetic to the communities that you are leading. It's important to be in service of the people you are leading. Leaders, true leaders, are at the service of the people they lead. And I think this year, for me in particular, I'm excited to face new challenges and face these roadblocks. I think it's going to be an opportunity for me to learn and grow, and it's going to be an opportunity for me to be in a position where real change can happen, and I want to be an example that sets trends that last far beyond this year. This is a test of being a young leader, of being in a position of youth. That is a test for what leadership will look like for me later down the road, whatever that looks like and whatever form that takes. So leadership is the cornerstone of what makes countries work, it's the cornerstone of what makes communities tick, and it's the cornerstone of what makes great possibilities come true.